Previously on Moments with ARGJ. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm hoping this is not what it seems like or what I'm about to go through, because cancer, I just can't deal. No, I don't want that at my address. Wrong address, God. In bed, and the nurse, God knows, they had to, stick me in the needle and everything to get blood, fluids. And God knows I had never been stuck with an IV needle before. And it hurt like all get out. It hurt so bad. I'm like, would you please hurry up and get this needle out of me? It hurts. I'm like, this is cancer. And I kept denying it. Because I didn't want to hear it. So biopsy showed that I had cancer. I paused. I was shocked by the news. Some people are, they think, and they're so quick to make an assumption that, oh, well, you went through cancer and you're good now, so you don't need to be worried about the rest of it. No, that's not 100% true at this present time. So no, cancer was not a good thing to have, but at the end, I was able to see the light at the end of the tunnel, and God was right there by my side. Although doctors were not expecting me to make it, God proved the doctors wrong. And as you can see, you are watching a living miracle right here. And although these conditions that I have, doctors say that I have, that say, well, this is going to be lifelong, I serve a God that says otherwise. So good evening, everybody. Hello and happy Tuesday. It is a wonderful Tuesday, March the 30th, 2021, and I hope that you have had a great day so far. I hope that you have done something that you have never done before on a Tuesday, and I hope that it's just been a wonderful Tuesday for you so far. Welcome to this week's episode of Moments with ARGJ. I am Anthony Gardner Jr. Welcome to all of my returning and new guests. I thank you for taking the time to come on this evening to watch me and have me, watch me give an encouraging word on this week. I do want to thank you all for your prayers, as this week has been last week was a very challenging week for me this past weekend. So I am not 100%, but I said I would go ahead and press on. The show must go on, and so here I am. So I hope that you all can appreciate what is going to be said on today. All right, this week's inspirational moment of the week is: no one expects the rug to be yanked out from underneath them. Life-changing events usually don't announce themselves. Everybody goes through a thing in life, and we may be, progressing in life and may be thinking that everything is fine. Then, oops, we hit something we hit a milestone in life, or hit a bump in the road in life, and it, may slow us down or may not get us to where we want to go and desire in life. And that is okay, but it's what we use to get us to make us stronger. And these life-changing events can either make us or they can even break us. So it's up to you what you decide to do in these life-changing events. So it is totally up to you, and that is one thing that we're going to be talking about today. All right, so Moments with ARG announcements. Again, a great announcement. I am still raising money for my first recording for my single album. I am currently still selling donuts or Krispy Kreme certificates They are $8 each. I'm asking for all of the support of my family, friends, supporters of Facebook, and all of you watching currently right now to help me reach my goal of $1,500. I have about 155 more certificates to live until I reach my goal, and I am asking you all to help me support and reach my goal. This is something that means so much to me, and having your support will greatly be so much thankful to me. I'll be forever grateful. So no boxes will be sold. I have it due to insinuated circumstances and what has happened in the last week. I have moved the deadline from March 31st to April 4th, 2021. So if you still want to give a donation or still want to buy certificates, you still have time. Even if you don't want a certificate and would like to give a donation, Cash App donations are my Cash App is $FaveChild97, or you can go online to my website at anthonyrgardner.com/donate, and you'll be able to give via credit card, debit card, PayPal, or however you wish to donate. Alright, second announcement. Mark your calendars, because guess what? Sunday, April the 11th, 2021 at 4 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I will be celebrating 7 years being cancer-free. I count this as such a blessing and honor to be able to celebrate yet another year of being cancer-free and not having cancer. And so I count it all joy. My original anniversary is April the 10th, but a celebration of my milestone will take place on the 11th of April. So we're about 2 to 3 weeks away till we get there. So due to COVID-19 and to protect myself and my immune system, the celebration will be 100% virtual. And that is a good new thing for you all, because I always had a good thing, Anthony, because that means I can invite as many people as I want to, and we don't have to worry about social distancing and standing 6 feet away, 6 feet apart. Alright, details of the event can be found on the flyer or on my website at anthonyrgardner.com/ARGJ events. And best part about this, another great part, there is no cost to attend this celebration. But I do ask that you all register for head count purposes, so that I will be able to be better prepared on numbers of how many people will be attending. And you can find all of that information on my website. Alright, now that announcements are out of the way, let's get down to the good part. So this week, as I told you all last week, we will have a special guest this week, and that special guest is here. I'm so excited, and I can't wait for you all to get to the part where we will be talking about this week's topic. And this week's topic is life-altering changes. And our special guest is Kijuan Amey, and I cannot wait for you all to dig in and watch and see what is in store for you all. As I said before, I'm bringing on people to not just with me bringing words of encouragement to you all, but finding other people that have great and powerful stories like mine, and that can empower you all and inspire you and encourage you. So without further ado, don't go anywhere. Kijuan and I will be up here right in a second to get the things moving. Stay tuned and I'll be right back with you. Hello everybody, welcome to Moments with ARGJ. I am Anthony Gardner Jr. and welcome to this week's episode of Life Altering Changes, where we have our special guest, Kijuan Amey, and he's going to share with us about his life altering change. All right, say hello to our viewers, Kijuan.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for having me, Anthony.
You're welcome. I hope that you have had a great day so far.
Yeah, so far so good.
All right, that's good. I'm glad to hear it. All right, so for our first question, I want to ask you, could you tell us what your life-altering change was?
Oh, yes. I can easily tell you that. And it occurred May 5th, 2017. I was riding my motorcycle, and it was a beautiful day. Just leaving Jordan Lake. For those
Mhm.
who know about North Carolina's area, it's a beautiful lake out here. And
Mhm.
I was headed home after taking some pictures for my photography portion of my business that I had, Kiwi Enterprise.
Right, exactly.
I, yeah, I was headed home and getting ready to go home for work because I was also an Air Force reservist. So headed home and riding, listening to, music in my Bluetooth on my headset, which was really nice. And then this car, a Honda Accord, pulls out in front of me from an intersection.
Oh,
And
wow.
that's pretty much all she wrote because I mean, I had three options, and I tell people, everybody this. I had three options. I could either go right
Uh-huh.
and go into the trees. I could go left and go into oncoming traffic,
Mhm.
or hit him, which is what happened. I ended up hitting him
Oh,
because
wow.
when something like that traumatic happens, you don't really, feel like you can do anything. You just
Exactly.
freeze up, and that's really what happened. I froze up and yeah, ended up impacting the car, which definitely did a whole bunch of damage. I was doing about 55 miles an hour because I was on the highway.
Uh-huh.
It's like a back highway for the little country, country roads and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. I
And
love country roads.
yeah, so Highway 751, and then I smacked my face, like crashed my face into the car, man.
Oh,
And
wow.
that's really where the damages started happening because my brain, of course, was impacted.
Uh-huh.
Ended up with a traumatic brain injury, and then my bottom right eyelid here was
Uh-huh.
torn off, and that caused my eyeball to pop out. And then, of course, the face shield cracking did a lot of damage as well. Kind of breaking up, doing some little scar tissue damages as well as scarring my eye.
Uh-huh.
And then I have damaged blood vessels in my left eye, which causes it to be basically blacked out. So the moral of the story is I went blind due to this accident, and I had never heard of that. From most motorcycle accidents, you hear people breaking bones and
Uh-huh.
possibly being paralyzed or not being able to walk again. I can do all of that. Yes, I did break bones. Yes, I did have to learn how to walk again. But I also lost my eyesight.
Yes.
So that was my life altering change at the age of 25.
Oh, wow. Well,
Yeah.
I can say I can go back to what you were saying about you hear about people breaking legs, limbs, and other body parts in motorcycle accidents, but
Hmm.
never do you hear someone going blind
Right.
by just going through a motorcycle accident. I can remember in 20 no no 2006 when my grandfather had a motorcycle accident. He wasn't paralyzed, he wasn't blind. He may have had a little cuts and bruises,
Hmm.
but so I can definitely relate to what you're saying.
Right.
But it's just good to see you, still being alive, regardless of what you've already been through.
Right. Right.
Alrighty. All right. Number two, how has this life altering change impacted your life or your family?
Tremendously. It was a huge impact for everybody, especially so when it happened. I had no idea. Your brain, with severe damages,
Uh huh.
it tends to go into this protective mode. It's almost like its own coma that it goes into, so that it protects your body and starts to heal itself. It starts to go into this healing mode.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I was in for about a month, with also being medically induced because of the severe pain that I was dealing with and tolerating at the same time. So for May 5th until June the 6th of that year, 2017, I was in a medically induced coma. So I have no recollection of anything for a whole month. My mom, of course, when they found out, because my accident happened like middle of the day, maybe like 2 p.m. time
Uh-huh.
frame. She didn't find out until 10 p.m. that night.
Wow.
And crazy thing was, she was looking for me because she had invited me over for dinner because it was the weekend.
Right.
So she had invited me over for dinner. We stayed in the same neighborhood, so that's why. But of course, I'm not answering my phone because
Right.
first off, my phone is in the woods somewhere, and secondly, I'm in a hospital bed. you know,
Right.
so it's crazy. But when they found out, of course, everything. I mean, everybody's life shifted because it's like, wait, what just happened? I'm sorry, you just called me and tell me my son was in the hospital at UNC and is in critical condition and possibly not going to make it. What did you just say to me? And that's what it was. So of course they rushed. They were actually in Walmart and rushed. I mean, literally dropped everything. My mom told me the story. She said they dropped everything. It was her and my stepdad. She was like,
Uh-huh.
"We gotta go. Let's go." And he's like, "What? We just got here." Like, because he has no idea. All he knows is she answered the phone. you know. And she's like, "We gotta go." And so they take off running out of Walmart. I know people are like, what are they running for? Should we be running too? you know. so, they run and they finally get in the car and he's like, "Well, where are we going? I don't know where we're going. You're just telling me we got to leave." And she's like, and then she finally broke it down to him what happened to me, the accident.
Uh-huh.
But yes, long story short, everybody who deals with me or has worked with me, has been a family or a friend to me,
Mm-hmm.
everybody's life changed. They were like, what happened? Like, I remember my brother, my oldest brother, when he found out, he told me about this. He said he was driving, and I believe it was on the next day, if I'm not mistaken, maybe that Saturday. But he was driving, and when he got the call, it was him and his wife, and I think their son, but they were on a bridge, and he lets go of the steering wheel
Oh
when he
my.
hears about it. Yes, all he did was let go because he went into like this. What? I can't believe that. And he's not talking, and then his wife grabs the steering wheel. She's like, "Ronnie, what are you doing?" And she didn't know because you're not hearing the conversation. He is.
Right, exactly.
So it's just that type of thing. And then I have family everywhere, family in California, family in Florida, family in North Carolina, everywhere that somebody heard about it. And then of course my Air Force family, they were like, "Wait, what happened to him?" And then, but the thing was, everybody stepped up at some point in time, and that was the biggest thing that could have happened. Like, nobody just like, well, what do? We don't know what to do, so let's not do anything. No, they actually stepped up and figured something out. Because
Right.
I actually had my lease coming up for my apartment that next month in June, so they had to move my stuff out while I'm in the hospital.
Oh
you know,
wow.
yeah, and what a tag team, because guess who ended up helping all my whole squadron that was in the freaking Air Force. They all, it was like 17 or 18 of them
Oh
went
wow. That's
all
a big
came up to
number.
Durham, and helped my mom and my family move all of my stuff out of my apartment in like no time. It was like as quick as you could blink.
Oh
And I
wow.
was like, yeah, so it was so amazing that they would do something like that. But that's what it's like. It's like a brotherhood,
Right,
a band.
exactly.
So yeah, that's really how it affected me and my connections, so shall I say.
But yes, thank you for sharing that. I
Mhm.
mean, like anything, sickness or accident, it just doesn't affect that person.
Mhm.
It affects the family member, friends, or anybody that is connected with that person. It affects them. Maybe it does not affect them in the same way, but it does affect them in a way that some may not understand, but it still
Right.
affects them. And that's very important that, um, you know, that we as people, not trying to neglect a person's feelings or how they may react to something, because
Mhm.
everybody is important.
Yeah.
So that's very good. All right. Number 3, in going through this life-altering change, what challenges do you face on a daily basis?
Oh, on a daily basis. Um, man,
Or if there are any?
yeah, well, there are. I'm just trying to figure out where to start, you know. On a daily basis, not being able to see, you know, you're faced with a challenge every day because
Of
I
course.
went from being able to drive and, you know, navigate and get around on my own to
Uh-huh.
now needing assistance generally for everything. Whether it's my phone being the assistant or whether it's a, you know, physical person.
Uh-huh.
Um, so I have had to learn how to use Uber, you know, unsighted. I've of course needed to set up appointments around other people's schedule, not just mine. You know, so I have to
That
be
can
more
be
courteous.
that can
Yeah,
be a
you know, you
challenge.
having to be courteous of that stuff and make sure you check their schedules.
Mm-hmm.
And then going outside of, you know, just travel alone, you got eating, eating. You know, if you
Yeah.
don't know how to cook, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, but takeout foods gets expensive
It sure does.
really quick. You know, it gets expensive really quick, and just ordering pizza every day gets old. So,
It sure does. And so does the
so
acid it gives your stomach.
yeah, yeah. So you know, I'm thankful for my family who does, you know, cook on a consistent basis and not, you know, we're not just always ordering
Yeah.
out and things like that. So that's very appreciative. And then you have, oh man, like I said, my connection. So literally this morning, so I live in Mebane
Uh-huh.
and with my mom and stepdad and my sister and my youngest brother and my nephew.
Uh-huh.
So I had an appointment in Durham
Oh
today.
wow. Uh-huh.
And so I needed to get from Mebane to Durham. Well, I was like, well, I know my mom and my stepdad go to Durham every weekday because they work in Durham. You know, they work in Durham. But now it's like, but my appointment isn't until 10 a.m. So wait a minute. I gotta figure that part out. Like, but thankfully I have again family such as my grandmother
Uh-huh.
and my uncle who can assist me because um you know my uncle he works like little side gigs so
Uh-huh.
he has his own he works his own schedule. It's basically how that works. And then my grandmother she has a lot of, I guess they call it FMLA or something like that. It's some kind of
Family
family leave.
medical leave.
Yeah, there you
Yeah.
go. There you go. Yeah, so you understand. But she has a lot of that built up and she activated as soon as I had my accident because we were
Uh-huh.
going to a bunch of my appointments. So she is able to utilize that time for when I have appointments.
Mm-hmm.
So she used that this morning and it was problem solved.
Wow.
But then that went back to what I said earlier. You got to work around other people's schedule. So I
Exactly.
also incorporated her, you know, when it came to setting that data, you know. So yeah, it's all about the different challenges that you're able to think through. That's the biggest part.
I
Don't
totally agree.
Yeah, don't just assume somebody's gonna think through it for you because I tell you that's when things fall apart.
Yeah, people already have enough on them, and if we just spend
Right.
all of our stuff on them, they're like, "Well, when am I gonna have time to do what I want to do?" So I've been there,
Yeah.
and I understand. So I definitely understand that.
Yeah.
All right, give me 1 second. All right, we've already pretty much answered the next question in the first one. So my next one would be, has your life altering change affected your walk or relationship with God? If so, how?
Oh man, what a question! Because a lot of people tend to look away or turn away and say, "Well,
Exactly.
this happened to me. How?" You know that, and that's like one of the things you have to look at in the Bible is think about all of the people who were tested in the Bible.
Uh-huh.
They weren't tested because they were weak. They were
No,
tested because he knew they could endure it. They could
exactly.
endure that struggle. I mean, it always says you always hear that God tests what he makes. And so I'm like, well, if he ain't testing me, that means he don't love me. So, it's like one of those things where I'm like, well, I'm glad he chose me, because that means he knew I was strong enough to handle this.
Yeah,
Now now I am to again now turn to him and lean not to my own understanding.
exactly.
And so that's what I tell people. I'm like, when you start leaning to your own understanding, that's when stuff starts falling apart again.
Yeah, I
Then
can't
guess
do
what?
it your
You're
way.
gonna find yourself going right back over to where you should have stayed and was talking to
Around in
God.
circles.
Right. And so, I'll tell you what, it was hard in the beginning. I was very depressed. Of course, because this is like you wake up in a hospital bed and can't see. Literally, I woke up in a hospital bed and could not see, barely able to move. And I was like, what is going on here? And so that right there really threw me for a loop, and it made me wonder. And don't get me wrong, because I would be lying if I didn't say this. I was questioning God, like, why me? And then one night in my hospital bed, he was like, well, why not you? I was like, oh, wait a minute. I went to the thinking face, and I was like, well, what do you mean? Like, your mom always says, don't answer a question with a question, but I had to. I was like, well, what do you mean?
I've had those moments too.
I'm like, what do you mean by this? And then I had to literally go through the moments that I'm always either not turning on lights, having my eyes closed, but still doing something with them closed. Or, just trying to figure something out in the dark.
Exactly.
So like literally I used to have, so I'm a drummer, but the viewers may not. So I'm a percussionist at my church. I've been playing for 22 years now.
That's a long time.
Yes, it is. It is. So, when I used to play at the church, which I still do, but when I used to play, people would come up to me and they're like, hey, Kijuan, how come you close your eyes when you play the drums sometimes? And I was like, I do? Like, I had no idea I was doing it. I literally had no clue. I was like, what are you doing? I'm laughing them off. I'm like, y'all crazy. Y'all don't know what y'all talking about. And then I thought about it one day when I was playing. I was like, I did just have my eyes closed. What do I be doing? And it's when I go into that zone. If you know that feeling, and which I'm sure you do, Anthony, but when you know that feeling, it's a thing that you don't control.
It sure isn't in your control.
Right. So I was going into my zone, and I was like, that's the zone. I'm in the zone. And, I don't need to see in order to play.
Sure
and that's what I found out. And sure enough, people literally, when I finally got back to church, I think it was that same year. No, it was the next year. It was 2018, because we had our church anniversary. And, we had our fellowship in churches come by. So they came by. And we opened, we start out the service as, our church. And then we invite the guest church, the fellowship in church up.
Yeah.
So my pastor, so my pastor literally, he was in the pulpit and he was like, hey, some of y'all wouldn't know it, but Kijuan, he can't even see the drums, and you didn't think he could. And, he just literally had to. He's like, sometimes I forget he can't see him, and it's because I set my drums up. I play them all the time and know where everything is before I ever, literally play a song, like physically play a song. I like, let me get myself acclimated to where I am, and then we can go from there.
Exactly.
But after I started hitting stuff, oh man, it's almost like I don't know if you've seen that movie Daredevil, but it's like that when stuff just starts appearing. It's like, oh, that is right there. So yeah, man, it was definitely something that made me draw closer to him, and because I needed it. It wasn't because I was already in the church. It was because I knew I needed him, And that's what people forget. They forget that they need him.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
know, so yeah, that's where I am with that.
Yeah, I totally agree with you on that. And I can relate to you saying, why me?
Hmm.
Why me, God? Because when I got the diagnosis of having cancer, I'm like, are you serious? Why in the world
Right.
am I diagnosed with cancer? I'm 16
Hmm.
years old. I'm a
Yep.
teenager. I am in a sophomore in school. I had a life to live. But as
Hmm.
I began to progress and, move forward through the process, because I never saw myself dying, I know that God was going to take care of me. I often hear the saying, if He brought you to it, He'll bring you through it.
There you
So
go.
and that's what I had to continue to keep in mind. And that's what all of us have to continue to keep in mind. We don't have to end up, we may not be going, those of us that are watching may not be going to have went through it or experienced a motorcycle accident or cancer, but whatever you're going through, if
Hmm.
God brought you to it, He'll bring you through it. And that's
That's
what
right.
you all have to keep in mind in
Hmm.
whatever you're going through, because it's all a process. And none of us are exempt from having our faith tested.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
All righty, number 6. We got about 2 more. What would you say to someone that has had a similar life-altering change like you, and then, have been on the verge of giving up because of the damage that may have occurred and just don't feel like going on anymore?
Well, you kind of said it in the question. Don't give up.
Oh, I sure did.
No matter what, no matter what, when you think, just as soon as you get that slight urge or the slight thought to give up, that's when you turn around and say, no, no, exactly what you just said. If I was brought to this, then I know I can go through it. Because if you stay in your mess, then you'll always be wallowing in pity, or you'll always be wallowing in that stop. Now, I don't
Right.
know about y'all, but I ain't trying to build me no pigsty. so,
You know.
so I'm just trying to keep going. You
No.
want to keep
Mm-mm.
going. Don't. You've come too far to turn back.
And
And I just, one of the things that I wrote, and I'm writing a book right now. But one of the things I put in my book was when I was in the hospital going through physical therapy
uh
and having to learn how to walk again. I don't know about anybody else that's had to learn how to walk again, but that is a physical task. I mean, that is really, especially with all the damage that my body took, with
mm-hmm.
my legs, both legs being broken, my back being broken, all of that, and all the surgeries. That's a physical task. But what I had to do was find encouragement in something that I already knew about. So you don't always have to go find something new, which you can. But me, I went to something old, which was a song that we sing in my church that says, every step I take, I'm going to make it in the name of Jesus. So every single step that I took, I
Uh-huh.
said, in the name of Jesus. The next one, in the name of Jesus.
Exactly.
And that
Mm-hmm.
made me get stronger every single step, you know. So that's how you have to do. You have to find some kind of motivating power. If
Uh-huh.
I mean, of course, you got God. That's an
Exactly.
easy one. That's an easy one. But if you
Mm-hmm.
can't, if for those who can't physically or mentally and spiritually get on that level, find you something to motivate you, whether that be music, whether that be a family member, whether it be a friend or a spouse, whatever it is, if your children, whoever it is, you can have a picture of your child at the end of the walkway. As long as you're making it to your child, guess what? You motivated yourself,
Amen.
So
Uh-huh.
anything. Yeah.
Yeah. And in whatever, 1 second, not my paper. All right. So, and you're right. And one thing when you talk about, pity and, things of that nature, it's very important that we keep, you know, negative people and depressing people away from us as well. Because we cannot get where we're trying to go in life and lift ourselves up if we're steady hanging around those that are trying to bring us down and just want to have a pity party. No,
Mm,
don't invite me to that party. Invite me to something else. But the pity
mm.
party, you can cancel my invitation to that.
Yeah,
But we need to, just have, positive people around us in times that we are in the most difficult times and challenges in our lives.
yeah, yeah. You could definitely lose mine too, because it's funny you mentioned that pity party. I'm actually writing about that in my book too. I don't want it. So for me, it was more of that sympathy versus empathy game.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there's a difference in the two. That's why there's two different words.
Exactly.
So don't bring me sympathy. I would prefer you have empathy for me.
Show that you
You
care.
know, yeah, you're showing you care. You're trying to think through how I feel. Don't try to
Yeah,
feel like I feel,
you may not
because
understand what you're going through or,
right,
but
right.
yeah.
You can't understand what I'm going through right now. So don't try to feel how I feel. Try to think about it. That's fine. You can think about it and we can talk about it. While you're here. And but the thing is, because I actually had a friend do this one time. I was at the hospital
Uh-huh.
for my 2 month stay that I was there. Uh, he came in my room one day, and I have no idea why he did this. I mean, one of the most outgoing, hype, loud, like people you'd ever meet. And
Uh-huh.
he comes in my room and knock on the door. And he opens the door, and I'm like, "Hey, what's up, man?" He's like, "Hey, man, how you doing?" I said, "I'd be doing a whole lot better if you didn't sound like you just walked in and seen a dead person." you know, and that's what I said. I would be doing a whole lot better if you just act like you just seen a dead person. Like like no, I'm gonna need you to go outside and try that again. like
Exactly.
because that's
Cut
not
and
what I'm
try
inviting.
again.
You know, so and the other thing is that sympathy. I mean, granted, it's a grieving mechanism, but it does
Uh-huh.
not allow you to heal.
No.
I needed healing at the time. So if first off, I'm a funny guy. I love to laugh. Humor
Yeah.
is amazing.
Exactly.
Laughter is good for the soul. And
Got that
so
right.
yeah, so I wanted people to come in, experience a good time, know that I'm still there. I just can't see. That's it. That know that I'm still here. I just can't see you anymore. I've been through something tragic. I've been through something traumatic. That's fine. Those are facts. But know that I am still here because that's a fact as well.
No,
you
that's
know,
the truth.
yeah, so don't change because I had a life altering change. Oh
Mhm.
man, that's beautiful. Don't change because I've had a life
Oh
altering
Lord.
change.
That's
You
that's a
know,
big rope right there.
yeah, oh man. And I felt that one. But
I did
I want you,
too.
yeah, but I want you to understand that even though I had a life altering change, I'm still your family member. I'm still your friend. I'm still your coworker. Don't change my title.
No,
I am
no.
still Kijuan Amey at the end of the day. you know? So yeah, that's how I view it.
Yeah, you're right. Just because you went through a traumatic experience, that doesn't change who you. I mean, it doesn't change your title. It doesn't change who you are. It may change what you may can do, but it
Mhm,
doesn't change who you are to a person. You're still that person. You're still that
mhm.
title to that person.
Right.
All right. Let's see. All right. Let me see how much time we have. All right. What is one word that you can use to describe this life-altering change and why,
Oh,
if there is one?
oh yeah. I'm trying to think of a good one.
Take your time.
Um, I would just have to say, as far as one word,
Uh-huh.
experimental.
That's a good choice.
Yeah, experimental. And the reason I say that is because yes, So put it this way, I've never had this happen. Of course, I know nothing about being blind before I became blind. I didn't have any family members that were blind. I didn't know anybody that was blind until I became blind. So now I'm now
Right.
experimenting with something new.
Uh-huh.
My whole life is an experiment now. I've
Uh-huh.
learned how to literally walk. I've learned how to um, build things. I've learned how to, bathe myself without sight. I've learned how to um, navigate the outdoors. You
Uh-huh.
know, I am learning so many different things and experimenting with so many different new things that actually makes you feel like you could conquer anything.
Exactly.
I've flown across the daggone country without sight. I went from here to Tucson,
Oh,
Arizona
wow.
without sight. I'm like, well, I'm like, I can do anything. you know,
Yeah.
so it's now one of those things where with it being experimental, you just say, put the challenge out there. What is it you can do? Because I feel like I can do anything.
Yeah, I believe you on that one.
And Philippians 4:13.
You can do all
You know
things
that.
through Christ.
Yeah, yes, sir. You already know.
I sure do.
So I just feel like it's an experimental lifestyle now. I am up for any challenge. So all these challenges that they have out there, I'm up for all of
I hear you on
them.
that. I hear you on that.
Yeah. So yeah. I mean, it's great. It's been a beautiful thing. I've even experimented with playing the piano. So now I'm learning that. And I was afraid of that thing before
Oh,
before I lost my sight.
my.
I'm serious.
Nothing to
I
be
was
afraid
afraid of
of.
it. Well, to me it was because I'm a drummer. I know what those things look like and what they do. Then I see
Right.
those 88 keys. I'm like, you telling me each one of these do something different?
Yeah, they do.
you know?
Some of them have high pitch and lower pitch, but they all do the same thing.
Right. I'm like, something ain't right about this. I think it's a trick too. So so in my mind, it was just I was psyching myself out. And then my friend who's also blind,
Uh-huh.
Mr. Phil Walters, he taught me how to play piano, or is teaching me, should I say. And I was like, if you learn how to play it, I should know how to play it, right? And
Right.
so he was like, I can teach you. It's like, okay, let's do it. So I've been learning ever since and loving it.
Well,
It's
that is
amazing.
good.
Yeah.
It
So,
is amazing. I've been playing for almost 15 years now, so
no, not.
I know what it feels like.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of my favorite
Yeah.
things to do.
Right. So, yeah.
All right. My last question, and then what I'll do is I talk with you about if you want to share anything with us about your experience or something to encourage our viewers, you can do that. All right. Last question. What is one thing that you love or enjoy doing that takes your focus off this life altering change? And I probably already know what that is, but let's talk with our viewers and tell them what it is.
Anthony, if I had to say something, of course, it's going to be the musician in me that comes out. So, music, listening to music,
Uh,
playing music, whether that's drums or keys. Uh, Man, just trying to also, sitting outdoors. I do enjoy that, just feeling the breeze, running and flowing.
Get the
But
vitamin D.
what I think I have gotten a true relaxation and kind of mind freeing moment from was writing my book because it allowed me to release
Yeah. It
so
gives you
many
that
different
extra
things
relief.
that we're going through, especially emotions, like the number of emotions that I deal with on a daily.
Uh-huh.
To this day, it allowed me to release those so that people will understand what I'm looking at, what I'm facing, what I'm dealing with. So
Right.
I cannot wait for its release, which should be May 5th of this year,
Okay.
2021. So look out for that. But
I sure will.
that should enlighten people and give them a slight walk with Kijuan for a second, with a
Exactly.
little bit of comedy in it.
Wouldn't
I
make
have
you
I
doubt
have to
it.
be me. I still have to be me.
Yep.
So yeah, and speaking of books, I have to say this: if you guys have not read Anthony's book, please go get it because I read it and I was loving it. It allowed me to see his journey through cancer and the things he dealt with. So it's always about the life experiences that you want to read about.
Exactly.
So yeah, I definitely recommend you guys go and get that. So yeah, that's what it is for me.
Yeah, and my last point on that is people only know what you tell them, and they can't now, like I said, they only know what that you tell them. And so,
Mhm.
writing a book, expressing how you feel and what you went through in your journey and how it affected you, and
Mhm.
having people read it once it's published, it gives them the opportunity to say, well, he has a story. I want to be able to read it and know what he went through. No, I may not have went through what he went through, but let me see how his battle went and how I may can, share it with someone else. So I
Right,
feel that that's important as well.
right.
All righty. So lastly, share with us something concerning your life-altering change that would encourage our viewers.
Something that would encourage the viewers. Well, I put it this way: something that encouraged me while I was going through this, which I'm sure can encourage others because it has.
Uh-huh.
I've actually witnessed it. Um, when I lost my sight, yes, I could have given up, but God knew something that was better out there waiting for me. My
Exactly.
motivational speaking, the business that I am getting ready to create
Uh-huh.
once I release my book, and then of course the book. He was like, "No, you have a story to tell." So
Exactly.
those are three things right there. But when 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 I was battling with the depression, trying to figure out what's next for me, um,
Uh-huh.
excuse me, trying to figure out what's next for me, and then I think I was giving up at that moment, but something said, "What are you giving up for? I mean, all you have to do is shift it. Just shift what you're
Exactly.
doing." And so I said, "Okay, okay. Well, I guess I can just say that I may have lost my sight, but I didn't lose my vision. My vision has always been to help others. It's
Uh-huh.
always been that way. Even when I started my business, Kiwi Enterprise, I was there to help other people.
Mm-hmm.
So my vision has always been to help. So I might have lost my physical sight, but I
Uh-huh.
did not lose my vision.
No. Your
And so
spiritual
that's
sight
what
will
I would
always
leave people with.
remain.
Yeah. So that's what I would leave people with is you might lose something which might be physical, might be materialistic, but don't let that make your vision of life change.
Never.
So that's what I would leave people with.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on Moments with
Anytime.
ARTJ today. I just really enjoyed having the opportunity and chance to interview you. And just so thank you. I'm hoping that the viewers have enjoyed you as well. Everyone.
Likewise.
Greetings, everybody. I hope everybody has enjoyed tonight's broadcast. Hope that you have gotten something out of it. Before you get ready to get off live, I want to share a quick announcement with you, and that is get my book, A Chosen Child, A Story of a Survivor. Yes, that's me. I'm that survivor that's on that book. Yeah, it's right here. Yeah, that's me. I, at 16 years old, on December 10th, 2013, was diagnosed with a rare cancer called nasopharyngeal carcinoma, otherwise known as throat cancer. It was a rare cancer that I was diagnosed with. And on April the 10th, 2014, I was declared cancer-free. And so many years down the road, about 2 or 3 years down the road, I decided, well, let me, share my story with someone. There's someone out here that needs to hear my testimony. Somebody that may not have the same cancer that I've had, that needs to hear a word of encouragement that will help them along the process and their journey. So I wrote this book as a guide, as a resource, as a tool for not only those that are going through cancer, but those that are going through whatever journey they may be going through in life. Doesn't even have to be cancer. It could be sickness, trouble, or something that they're going through in life. And so, regardless of what you're going through, you are a survivor. And what your journey is, it's a story because you are a survivor. You are, your journey is going to be a survivor, and it's going to be a story of the survivor, which is you. So I encourage you, go to my website at anthonyrgardner.com/ARGJ shop and get your copy today. They are $15. Plant a seed and support me. I promise you, you will not be disappointed in getting a copy of my book. Visit my website. They are $15. And get your copy today. And even if you don't get it for you or want to get it for someone else, be a blessing to someone else and get this book. But I encourage you, I admonish you, get this book. You will not be disappointed. I hope that you all enjoy reading this book, and I look forward to seeing your name on my order list. Thank you, and God bless you.